Well, welcome, beautiful souls, to this month's episode of Tea at the Temple. And have we got an incredible guest for you? This month, we have been joined by the wonderful Laura Geermans, joining us from the other side of the world in Australia. And it was just a joy to come into conversation with her, wasn't it, Rach?
It absolutely was. There was so much juicy wisdom that was brought forward for us this month. Laura has years of experience as a soul mentor, as an intuitive healer and soul guide, and you are in for a treat.
Grab a cuppa and we'll join you in the temple.
Well, welcome everybody to this month's Tea at the Temple, and we are so lucky because we have the incredible Laura, who is from the other side of the globe, in Australia, and she is a spiritual mentor, she is an intuitive healer, she is a soul guide and cosmic mirror, and we are so excited to dive into soulful conversation with her today. You are so welcome in this space, Laura.
Thank you. It's so beautiful to be here with both of you, Rachel and Helen, and there's just beautiful space that you set up, so I'm really looking forward to our chat.
Oh, Laura, it's such an honour. Thank you so much. And at the other side of the world. So thank you so much for carving out the time to join us for Tea at the Temple. We have been so excited. And just before we came into this space, we all got loads of lovely little tingles because we just know that this is going to bring forward just such a juicy and delicious conversation. So we always like to start with Laura, with our guests. What brought you to the spiritual path?
So basically for me, it's been from dot. I mean, I was raised by my mum with an awareness of spiritual energy and emotions. And you said we're going to talk about goddesses tonight. And I was thinking about it in reflection earlier today. And I realized the emotional journey with the goddesses, I think, and the spirit as one, has been really important. It's probably what drew me to them. So I was raised, what are you feeling? What's it about? And do we need to have a pillow and go and have like a bit of a kick? Do we need to let emotions out? You know, what's going on? And I'm such a star child that was important for me to have someone grounding me. Like, what do you feel? Because I'd be like, I don't know what I feel. Very star being. And then I was raised not so much with knowing about angels, but just an awareness of being a soul, really. So it's been from the beginning for me. So it's been me in the world as a soul, and then navigating how the world works and finding my space in it. So it's kind of been a lifelong thing, and the joy of that is it's always different and always new. But you would both know there's a lot of a learning curve with how you use your spiritual energy or connect to the world through the spirit. So it's been a lifelong thing, yeah, and a joy.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that, because that's right. The guests that we've had on previously, it's kind of been something that's like we've come to later on in our life. So to have your perspective, Laura, from the word go, it has been this path, is it's beautiful.
It's incredible, really. So tell us a little bit about how the divine would present to you as you sort of emerged as a new soul on earth.
So interesting, because I'm very sensitive to sound. When I was born, a nurse dropped a tray of instruments and mum said I just screamed the room down, and I've been sensitive to noise ever since, to the point of being a teenager. I'd be asleep, mum would come to wake me and she'd be like, Laura, and I would jump out of the bed like a soldier, like to put my boots on. I would just be bang. So the sound to me is very sort of, I guess it's a frequency thing. And when I was about 3, I actually could hear the whispering of my guides and everybody talking to me, but I found it to be disturbing in that I couldn't find a way to just be in the world and have that. So we tuned in and asked, could they just dial it down and be with me, but not that confusion of two realms, if that makes sense. So that was the way I was getting it. And then I would say I get my connection to spiritual energy, I would say, through nature. I'm very much been a nature baby. I've always lived around nature or trees or holidayed at the beach. And to me, that is how I connect with Mother Earth Gaia for a start. And then the elementals, I would say that's where I started, Earth and the elementals, you know, without having the names for them. Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's where I get all of my inspiration, Laura, is just through nature. There's something that when you immerse yourself in her embrace, and it just pulses through you, and everything just flows. There's an effortlessness when I'm in her presence. It's a beautiful energy. And you were like that as a child, though, weren't you? Getting lost in nature.
Yeah, I have these memories of them not being able to find me. And I am absolutely sure that I was invisible. Do you know, when you're so attuned? I mean, I remember being in Northumberland, and against the sort of seashore, there is loads of dunes and all these gorse bushes, but they're obviously quite well established, so more sort of tree-like to a small child. And I remember just being in these, they were covered with yellow blossoms. I was in there like collecting caterpillars and talking to, I don't know what I was talking to. Clearly it was the fae, clearly it was the, the elementals. And I could hear this screaming, where is she? Where is she? Oh, she's disappeared. Someone's taken her. And I'd be like, oh, what is all the fuss? And I'd sort of like mosey out of the sand dunes. And there'd be uproar because they thought somebody had pinched the child. But it's because I completely became the landscape. And I feel I touched upon being conscious of that in my teenage years when I was within the trees. I'd completely be almost like I was camouflage. It's a very beautiful relationship, but you can't always put your finger on quite why or how that happens. But what's your experience and relationship with trees, Laura?
Oh, trees are so important to me. And again, I've got to credit my mother, because she would go and hug trees, and she would make sure she put her feet, like the tips of her toes, against the tree and hug the tree so her heart was at the tree. And I'd be like, wow. So I'd give that a go. And she would do it regardless of who was walking up and down the forest path. She just had to do it. And I felt that she would get messages from the tree. So I think, to me, I guess there's that sort of soul connection, that things that work for her work for me. And I've always felt that they were very much, I guess it's an energy. So I don't think I hear, but I also feel, because I'm very sort of clairsentient. So to me, it would be that energy of peace that trees give. And I used to just live up trees as a child, climbing trees, hanging out of trees. To me, it's really important. And even as an adult today, if I visit somewhere where there's a tree I can climb, there's an amazing redwood forest just about an hour from where I live, I will climb the tree in my bare feet. I feel very special with them. And I find even watching a documentary, say I'm watching something across the world, I feel like I can get a transmission from those trees. It's like it's that sensitive. I can sort of, and I feel this energy of breath, like the breath of life from the trees. And I just love to, connect with them, maybe talk, or just sort of hello. I almost think of the druids of like having a language. I don't expect them to understand everything I say, but I try and sort of just hello and respect, and kind of send these words and thought forms to them, because they are an amazing system of intelligence and also life force for us on the planet. And I don't know what I would do without a tree. I can find a tree or a plant, in the middle of a city. My gaze goes to the nature. It's just, I've always been that way.
They have such a presence, don't they? It's like, I know for me, when I need some respite, I need to take myself away from the rest of the world and just have that quiet time. Like, I love walking in nature, but somewhere where there's loads of trees and a big presence, because you just feel really held. And there is just that silent, almost understanding and connection, isn't it? There's this oneness when you come into that connection with them. Like, not much, like you say, just a few words, just that touching and just that respect, that reverence. And it's so subtle but so powerful.
Yeah, it bursts the heart. It's that incredible invisible network beneath your feet, and the way that they connect and communicate to one another. And even if a tree has unfortunately been chopped down because of disease or whatever, you can still pick up on the spirit of that tree, and you can still connect to that energy and their mysteries. And I just find that absolutely fascinating, because they have stood through so many centuries of life on the planet. I mean, I wonder what the first tree was. I wonder whether it was a fir tree. I wonder whether they were like, you know, the most ancient trees, and they hold all of the wisdom of like Earth's creation. I have that in my head, but whether that's a truth or not, I don't know. But it's just like a feeling that I get when I connect, especially to those type of trees.
Yeah,
I just love it all.
it's beautiful.
So how do you honor the connection that you have with the divine, with the goddess, with the elementals? What is your practice? What does it look like?
For me, it's really a lifestyle. So it is my daily life. So I would just notice nature. I often, when I see a particular thing, a bird or a tree, I tune in. We know that everything is a spiritual messenger and you can Google it, but I like to also just tune into that essence and sort of say, what is the message for that for me today, you know, from this being, this tree, this particular flower, because there's always something that stands out more. And I think too, it's an honoring of my soul journey being here. I feel that Gaia is very much the foundation for me, and the feeling of being safe and belonging to Earth. My issue has been with, obviously, with people. Not everybody presents in the easiest way to get along with it, but to me, Earth herself is so beautiful. So to me, it's really about the care for that. It might be honoring something. It's doing a prayer on behalf of Earth. And what you were saying about the trees, I totally believe that. Earth is so intelligent and so wise and beautiful that the tree could be cut down and it's just a trunk and roots, but that root system could be giving life to, you know, so many different animals or insects and things. And so I like to respect when I do earth work. I just give it an offering from my heart. I don't try and direct, because I feel that Earth knows so much more than I do, and I don't need to put a band-aid on her as such. I feel that she's so much more powerful, but I simply offer light and my love and respect for her to use in whatever way, or the fae or whomever, whatever way serves. I don't like to say, please do this because, oh, that poor tree was cut down. I feel like when I get one of those messages, Earth sort of says, it's okay, like, don't think of it in those human terms, you know, it's all good. So I like to honor her by, yeah, just sort of giving my respect and my appreciation, I suppose.
Powerful, Laura. And one of the things when you were speaking then just brought to mind was that obviously one of the lines of work that you obviously hold and bring together is the global healing chains, which I know that you're a part of, aren't you? And have been working closely with that. And that's so powerful for the healing of Gaia. Do you want to share a little bit more on what they are, Laura?
These are actually through Alana Fairchild and her training modalities, the global healing chains. And one of the reasons I was asked to come and work with Alana as training angel was because I was always using the Sarasvati healing templates to do earth offerings. And in our community forum, I'd be saying, I did this earth offering. Does anyone want to join me? Because when I found that modality, I'd always been doing earth sessions. I found it was a beautiful way to offer energy, a container of energy, like this globe of beautiful energy to Earth. And so my passion for that, and we spent some of 2020, I suppose, some of the people going through working with the Earth chakras, you know, like bringing light. And again, it's not directing it like there's a problem, but it's like our humanity and our souls offer Earth this gift for her to take and to use. So I'm also wary of, you know, everyone wants to save a certain cause, but I totally believe if you just offer your general heart space and blessing, we just want peace on Earth for all beings, that Earth will take that. And the funny thing is, whenever I tune in for something, even quite a dark thing that I don't appreciate, or I don't like, something quite frightening, an Earth situation, Earth's response seems to be very much, thank you, and it's all okay, if that makes sense. Like, she takes the light, but it's very much a sense of, that's great, and thank you, and I will rise higher. So there's a joy in working with this being who we don't need to rescue. It's like we are working in consort with her. And the beauty of that, all these people around the globe sharing their light, either passing the light along the chain, usually we do it that way, and I sort of do the timetables. There's something beautiful about our heart space as humans doing something together across the globe and through technology, which who knew would be such an amazing gift in so many ways. So we honor Earth through our love for her and through sending light.
it's super powerful, isn't it? And I think that it is incredible to connect with other people all across the globe, but it's also such a beautiful sentiment to take into your own personal practice, that you offer from the heart and it is received and it is used in a way that serves the highest good of the planet and just of all beings, really. And I find that is what calls me to earth healing so readily. It just feels like another place of home, of real deep soul knowing and connection. So I can completely relate to the beauty of it. And I mean, I've taken part in the healing chains that you've organized, but I take part in other healing chains, and I always feel completely lit up and like that it serves a higher purpose beyond what we can even perceive, what is being offered, selflessly from the heart. It's truly beautiful, isn't it?
It really is. And just like going back to when Laura said, we remind people of that when they, in our school, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. Just that prayer from the heart, that just that one breath and that gratitude to the earth each day, it holds so much power and so much light. And I think sometimes we can often feel quite, well, just like, it doesn't matter what we do, it's not going to have an effect. And some people get a little bit downtrodden like that. And it's like, no, it does. And it's just holding on tonight, just that simple prayer, the power of prayer and a short and sweet blessing is immense. And it's just believing and reminding yourself of that. Mm-hmm. And then when we all do that, imagine that on a daily basis, that web of light that is, is woven together. Mm-hmm. I mean, every time I come into my morning, practice and do my blessing to the earth, that's what I visualize. I just visualize other souls across the planet doing that at some point in the day and connecting to that tapestry that is woven.
It's beautiful. I can just see that light up in my mind. What are your tips for deepening your connection?
It is about the intention to drop into the heart space, I feel, for a start. Whatever's going on, just take a moment. And as you say, Helen, it's about simplicity. We get so complex, humans, and the more complex it is, the more people are going to be sort of putting off their morning routine, or that make it simple and from the heart. So to me, it's about being in that heart space. And then I feel like when you drop into your heart space, there's almost an automatic dropping into Gaia's heart. It's just, I don't believe that one is without the other, or not for me. And then it's sort of like universal heart, cosmic heart comes online. So it's about that. And it's sort of dropping in with the intent. Years ago, I used that visualization of the roots from the feet going into the earth, or it might be spontaneous of feeling a connection to hollow earth or a being from hollow earth. So I do those things where I might like light a candle, but sometimes I like it to be as simple as possible. So it's just a prayer, maybe touching my heart. And I know that people say, the earth is made of so much quartz crystal that you think about each step. If you made a prayer or an affirmation as you're walking, you could amplify, because quartz is a crystal which amplifies and generates and sends light. You could send light through your steps. You could have when I go on a walk, you can imagine your steps activating, prayers. There's just so many simple things you can do that bring joy to the heart, but don't make it overly complicated.
You always say that, don't you?
Simple is beautiful.
Absolutely. You totally do.
It's my mantra. It's what I live by.
Yeah, it totally is. I've gone from complicated to simple. It's been a journey of just finding what's comfortable. And I think it's breathing for me. Yeah. Breathing is that is what I need to come back to myself, to shift whatever is within me. And I just feel like breath work is just, it's just beyond.
It's our greatest teacher is our breath, and our greatest healer, like what it can bring to the body. And I just think it's something that many take for granted and that they don't connect to consciously. And like when you say, when feeling that our heart is, connected and at one with the earth, like coming into that earth breathing, like when you really plug in and you feel that. And that's one of the visualizations I love to use as well, Laura, roots growing from the soles of the feet. and then you tune that in with the breath and the connection, it's very, very difficult to find the words to describe the feeling when you come into that connection. But at the same time, it's so simple to do that, isn't it? But the benefits that come forward, not just for you, but for humanity and the earth as a whole, it
affects the world around you, doesn't it? It just emanates, which until you come into that regular practice, you don't quite realize the impact, do you, of just breath.
Yeah.
Stripping it right back.
Yeah, basics.
Now, when you were talking about the earth, you were talking about quartz. And obviously you have the incredible selenite crystal and the Selenite Swords. So we just love this. So we'd love you to just share with us, Laura, the magic of the Selenite Sword, how you use them and how you weave them into all of your offerings.
Oh my goodness. So the funny thing is, so these Selenite Swords of Light, and I have a few here today. I don't know if you can see, this has got a rose quartz cover, and this has got Flower of Life engraved on the blade. So I've got quite a number, but my first ever crystal wand was selenite with a little bit of rainbow fluorite. I don't have it here, at the base. And then when I bought my first selenite sword, it had rainbow fluorite and selenite. So the magic of these is in the handle. The selenite is the antenna, and it's the highest frequency light crystal. It brings so much light. Psychic people can sort of see almost the after image of how the light goes through the body or moves through earth. But this is the magic. This is all crushed crystals. It's pictures of the ascended masters. It's got copper. It's got sacred waters from around the planet. They're made in America by a man called Tom Leder. So they're just this most amazing tool for self-healing, earth healing, anything. But so I started work with the swords, just as the swords. So there's ways that we do light body activations with them. It's a good way of holding a container of space. I sometimes make an offering online just for the energy of people to feel into it. And we always connect to Earth Star Chakra, and then Soul Star Chakra, Cosmic Heart, and allow for Earth Heart expansion through the swords. So you can do physical healings with them over all the chakras. You can do light body activation, and then you can use them for meditation. But this year I've also learnt esoteric acupuncture, which is the spiritual side of acupuncture. And the swords, there's no needles. You can use needles, but I'm not trained to use needles, and you can use toning and oils, but I use the swords because they connect and just pour extra light through. So I do the majority of this distantly online in my own sacred temple space, and people can feel the energy. I can even do it distantly offline, and people feel the energy going. It's like this amazing spiritual technology, like this ancient and yet next level spiritual technology. And to me, they are as unique as a crystal deva, and they have their own frequency and energy. And I feel that I work, as I say, in consort with them. To me, they're the same as a divine being. They connect to me, like I'm just here, we're sort of working together. So since I have found these, and now the esoteric acupuncture, I've found another sort of a leap up in the energy work and what I'm able to do on behalf of Earth and other people. And I feel it's a real privilege to have had them find me and work with me.
Wow. Do you know, I don't know how you feel about this, but how do you feel about guiding us in something really short for everybody to experience?
Yeah, sure.
That would just be amazing.
Sounds beautiful. Let me see. Okay, so let's start. So we've got some melanite here and rose quartz, the swords. So if you just want to put your awareness at your feet and your connection to earth, even if you can't see the sword blades, you'll feel it, and just allow or intend a connection through your earth star chakra right into the heart of Mother Earth, the crystalline heart. And feel the soles of your feet opening a bit like dinner plates, just to really bring that earth energy through, and feel yourself very grounded to earth. And the more that you ground, you'll feel your heart begin to expand with light. And just intend or allow Earth to send light from her heart right up through your Earth star, through your feet, and beginning to gather and flood your heart. And feel that light in your heart being like a magnet to the light of the cosmic heart. And just intend and allow cosmic energy to pour down through your soul star chakra, your crown, and flooding into your heart. Feel your heart expand even more. And then we just bring the connection, just bringing in, it's like a pillar of light, the earth connection, the universal heart. So we allow the swords to just draw this energy gently. It's like a wave of light from the earth right through you to the cosmos, and from the cosmos right through you down into the earth. It's like an ocean of light with you at the center. And we're just again connecting into the heart, connecting into the central channel there of your being, and just bringing more light, love, grace, gratitude, just an expansion of the heart, and feeling your heart fields come online. Feel the enormity, the majesty of your heart, the physical heart, the spiritual heart, the heart fields. And we're also going to bring in a little bit of esoteric acupuncture with a pattern called wingmaker frequency. So if you were just to be aware of the occipital point of your skull, and we call this wind mansion, and imagine a white light shining where the skull and the neck join, wind mansion, and then allowing light to drop down to each shoulder blade, right and left. We call this celestial gathering. And then from each shoulder blade, the energy drops inwards to the back of your heart, and we call this spirit path. So you've essentially formed a diamond of white light from the back of the head across the shoulder blades into the heart. And if you breathe in and out, you'll sense your light wings where they attach at each shoulder blade. This is a beautiful frequency to put yourself in before meditation or before any light work. Just breathing in, and if you've never felt your light wings before, just allow a connection, but when you know them, just feel the joy of that. Breathing in and feeling their enormity and the spiritual breeze that comes from them, the clarity, the beauty, the upliftment that your light wings can bring to you and then through you into the world. So we just rest for a moment with our light wings fully expanded, being grounded to the earth, but also fully open and expansive with this spiritual light, as above, so below. And we're just holding the space with the swords, allowing for this light and this grounding at the same time. We don't want anyone floating away. We want you to be totally grounded and filled with this light. And we call upon Gaia for her presence and assistance for all beings watching here. And we thank the Selenite Swords for bringing this light. They bring love, light, grace, and gratitude, harmony, balance. So just resting one more moment with this energizing light. And you can allow your light wings to stay extended. They're always there, whatever feels comfortable for you.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it was beautiful for us to receive and be part of that frequency, but for all who tune in to watch Tea at the Temple, that's a extra special gift for the community, isn't it?
Stop smiling.
I know, I just kept smiling. They're
The
super
light wings.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
it is the
energy,
wings. Yeah.
it's so intelligent. It doesn't matter if you're here now or you watch it later. I just feel it will come to you as it best serves you. So that's the energy of those, and there's a purity to that and a presence. So I encourage everybody with their light wings. We all have them. Just feel into them, and if you need to pretend, if you don't think you can feel them, pretend for a moment, and then the pretending will help you to feel into it. And that heart expansion is the best thing, isn't it? So I'm glad that you felt that's the beauty across the globe. I can send that energy, and it's it's the most glorious thing to be able to do. It's such a deep privilege. So thank you for the opportunity for that little.
Thank you, Laura. I felt really the energy in my lower half of my body there was really, I felt really anchored. It was wonderful. Like I felt really expansive and light and wonderful, but really rooted, which is so important. And that was beautiful.
Yeah, because with the crystal spirit of selenite, I always find it very, very light and very, very celestial. And sometimes you can just sort of like leave the body, leave the planet and float off to some stellar realm. So the way that the selenite ones actually anchored us first so deeply, it was very powerful. Oh, I feel like a new hobby coming on.
I love that. So alongside your selenite swords, Laura, and the incredible acupuncture that you do with the swords, what other offerings do you have, Laura? What else do you share?
So my main thing is it's a soul mentoring, really. I mean, 20 years ago or more, I started with life coaching because I couldn't quite figure out how to bring my spirituality to work to earn, proper living. So I would be drawing cards, but I was calling it life purpose coaching. So to me, it's about, I think I said to you before we started, I feel like I see the oak tree that comes from the acorn. So the person in front of me, I can see all the potential and the beauty. And I just like to guide people on where they can best, be their own unique self and sort of reflect back to them. We all have so many wins and so much beauty and so many gifts within us. And it's really difficult for us to see that for ourselves. I think it often takes someone outside of you to just mirror to you, to celebrate yourself. And our culture is not really set up for us to do that. I think more and more it's coming that way now. But so I offer at the moment, and since the whole world changed, I've just moved really like 90% online. And I feel I've really managed to create this sacred temple space. There's something beautiful about using technology for spiritual purposes across the globe. There's something like we're here now today and tonight, and this energy is going through the, whatever you want to call it, the fiber optics, through the multiverse and everything. And I think that there's something about that, light workers all sharing this light. So I work with people, mainly people who are on their path and have been for some time, and just sort of supporting them in those ways. I used to work with beginners a lot more, but I feel that I've been moved more into this space of holding space for people who are on the path and just needing a different sort of level reflected to them. And I do a lot of energy work, and it's almost transmissions. I do use light language different times. So there'll be codes coming in, or I just maybe channel a meditation or something like that. So for me, it's kind of like you come to me as Laura, and obviously I offer all of Alana's sessions. I offer Kuan Yin transmission, Sarasvati healing, and there's some beautiful energy there. But it's kind of like I encourage people, if they book a session with me, to almost just receive what spirit says is coming through, because we always plan something. But and I spent years doing readings, intuitive readings as well. But now I might draw a card, but I still feel it's more of a transmission. It's not a forecast or anything. It's just some energy that people need to be supported. And it's the privilege that I can do that for people, and especially across the globe now. I can sit here in Australia and offer that light. But I was saying to both of you earlier, I've been building my own website because I've had experiences in the past where someone doesn't get my vision. So I'm working on it myself, and I come up with the name Light Radiance, because I feel like that sort of sums up what I want to do, and I feel what I do offer. So I'm just sort of owning that energy now, and working with that.
Oh, I love that.
So we'll put all your links underneath in the information. So that anybody who is watching then can reach out and get in touch with you if they are called to your beautiful work. I certainly am.
And that's how we like to work, don't we? We love just to allow it to be just intuitive and open and see what spirit wants to bring forward for us. It's and I love that, and it's often something that you can't even think about or know about. It's just like, wow, I never expected we were going down that path today, but that's what we love about it, don't we? I
love a magical mystery tour. It is the beauty of this work, that's for sure. So we have a question that we always ask all our guests.
Yes, we do. So if you could go back, Laura, and give one piece of advice to your awakening self, what would it be?
Yeah, that's a good question. It would really be to trust, because I do trust, but I usually trust sometimes screaming by my fingernails, you know. I've had such an existence where I think back and I think the only reason I'm here is through the grace of God, because I've done my own work my whole life. You know, I haven't been in the regular world, and I just have to remind myself to trust, but I would say trust with more grace, Laura. Like, it will be okay. And I think back, you know, with such compassion to myself being younger and so much, I'd still be trusting, but it would hurt. So I think it would be, trust, have more trust, more trust, more trust, more trust.
Well, I think that's fitting for me.
Definitely. We always get the message, trust and surrender.
Trust with more grace. I love that. I'm going to remember that from now on, Laura.
I can't guarantee. I know that that's my concept. I still think I could do with a bit more grace, but that's the human part. And I think it's a lovely question, because often people say, what would you change? And I really have come to the understanding I wouldn't change anything, because every time I've ever tried to plan something, it never comes to fruition. And the best and beautiful things come from totally where I wouldn't expect them and just blow my mind. So that's where the trust comes in. Try not to have it's the knife edge. I have a vision of what I want, but I totally surrender. Thank you for that word. And what does the divine want for me? I don't want to get in my own way. This lifetime I've been told I'm here to sort of have the soul, psyche, personality all come into harmony. So I just keep saying to spirit, you show me. I want to complete this life in the way that is for this highest aspect of me, and not what I think, you know, what God, what spirit wants from me for the earth.
Honoring that.
Well, that's beautiful wisdom.
It is.
Perfect way to round up. I'm trying to just find the words there, Laura, because that is so fitting right now for where I am on my path as well.
It was like in that moment when you said that, it was just like mirroring. All of us felt the same thing, and it's just, that is the soul wish, isn't it?
Yeah. And I feel that because we're talking about our connection before, I'm sure we've had connections in the past, and when we were working in temples and we were honoring the divine and in service with a purity of just help me to serve, you know, and getting out of our own way. And I think that when we speak in these ways, we have that, it's that deep honoring of the goddess, the divine, whatever you want to say, where we say, please help me to be a channel or a receptacle, whatever it is. And that's not a very modern concept, to bow down to something in grace and gratitude. And yet I feel that's the best thing to do. And then that's where the beauty comes. So namaste, I can feel your hearts in that. And it's that idea of wanting to serve with absolute purity and to be guided, so that we're not alone, we're part of this. It's that total connection to the divine, where we work with them and they work with us, and that's it. It doesn't matter anything else. That's what's important.
It's that symbiotic relationship, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute delight. And I'm sure it will serve all our listeners very, very well.
Definitely. As Rach said before as well, all the links to access Laura's offerings and all that she brings to this incredible world and all of her beautiful light will be below. Thank you once again, Laura. It's been such an honour. And thank you. Deepest blessings.
Thank you, Temple of Light, just a beautiful space to be in. And thank you for all that you both offer to everybody. It's inspirational. And the whole time I've been talking to you, there's light across Rachel, across the back wall. It's a very real, the Temple of Light. It's etheric and it's also very real. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you.